it as three-dimensional. It hypothesized that the flat surface of the universe contains all of the information we need to sense three dimensions, much like a hologram. Our DNA is carbon-based. Carbon, as we know, has 6 protons, 6 electrons, and 6 neutrons. 666. We already have the mark of the beast on us. There is a mathematical and numerical link between ancient alphabets and our DNA. Yahweh is a 4-letter word. 4 is the number of the Tetragrammaton. The Tetragrammaton represents the name of the Creator using 4 letters, while only using 3 from the Hebrew alphabet, Yud, Vav, and He, which is used twice. Similarly, DNA contains 4 nucleotide letters, but read only 3 at a time. The name Yahweh is no more static than the DNA sequences and can be rearranged for different functions. Rearranged, these letters make the names Haya, which means was, Hoveh, which means is, and Yihiyeh, which means will be. The Tetragrammaton represents the God computer which is projecting our reality. This Tetragrammaton, which we refer to the god El, isn't inherently bad, but it has a sort of virus in it. Archons and reptilians have flooded this plane, and by successfully redirecting the collective's energy towards satanic principles, that is exactly what is being reflected back. Yahweh, El, whatever you want to call this computer deity, it's projecting back what the collective intention is putting forth. We're living inside of a projection of Saturn. When I say Saturn, I don't mean the physical planet of Saturn, because we live in an enclosed flat plane. Nothing escapes, nothing comes in. Astrologically, Saturn represents authority, limitation, and confines, and that's exactly what we're seeing on this plane. I'd like to mention that Saturn is another name for Satan. One is early Latin and one is late Latin. The cube, ring, and hexagram are all symbols of Saturn, and they're throughout our lives. In company logos, in sculptures, in flags, in architecture, it's everywhere. This is Saturn worship, which is Satan worship, which is directing energy towards limitation. Again, we're 2-dimensional beings at the moment, but appear to be 3-dimensional. These aren't our original bodies, and they're holograms just like the world we're living in. And you don't even have to look past science to let that sink in. We know that the quantum behavior of particles shows that reality appears not to exist until it's actually measured. Physicist Tom Campbell expands on this in his book series, My Big Toe. Most of what he says is based on conventional science, but he does highlight the virtual reality we're all in. He answers the age-old question: if a tree falls in the forest and there's nobody there to hear it, does it make a sound? And the answer is no. There's no tree or forest until someone is there to get a data stream of the forest. If consciousness is directed towards something, it exists. Don't confuse what I'm saying. This doesn't make everything null and void. We can move, talk, and think in this hologram, but this hologram is absolutely trapping us. Rich Terrile, one of NASA's scientists, has even suggested that our creator is a computer programmer. There's an energetic grid placed on our flat plane, and this is working with the moon to create interfering waves that are further locking this reality in confining constructs. In the Bible's book Genesis, Adam was the grid and Eve was the moon, made from a part of the grid. I have a video explaining that for more info. We're on the grid, the checkerboard. The checkered floors in Freemasonic temples are often considered to mean duality. The checkerboard is emblematic of the free will we have in a polarized world. Polarization happens when people become divided into contrasting groups.